Hello everybody, I'm Liz, and today I'm going to talk about the books I finished in February. That's a total of 3 books, and so we're going to get started with the first book I finished reading, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This is a fantastical, fictional story that takes a lot of its elements from Africa, and it was really, really good. I did enjoy reading this story as our main character, Zelly, goes out and discovers how to bring magic back to her world. I really loved the world in this story and the main characters. However, I did find that the story was fairly predictable, and I feel like the story could have also really benefited from a few more interactions with Zelly and another character that she ends up falling in love for to make this hate to love trope more believable. I also felt that the ending was very, very predictable. I knew it was coming from a mile away. Though I really did like the main character, Zelly, and everyone else she interacts with, I actually particularly loved Sane, which is Zelly's brother, and Amari, which is a girl that they meet along the way. I did prefer them as characters, and I really wanted to get into their head a lot more than what I got in this book. I am very hopeful for the sequel, and I am so excited for it. I know it is not coming out quite as early as we had anticipated this year, as the date's been pushed until around December. So I have several months to wait for it, and I'll just be reminiscing about this book until then. So I am giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I finished is The Female Man by Joanna Russ. This book was pitched to me as a feminist story ahead of its time, as this was published back in the 60s or 70s. I'm still not quite sure on the actual publication date. However, I did not like this book. I was still intrigued halfway through the story because I really wanted to get to the last point of view. But by the time I got to the last point of view, I was so over the story that I'm surprised I didn't DNF it. It takes place with 4 main characters. We have Janine, who is in a realm or universe where the Great Depression never ended. There's Joanna, which is very reminiscent of our 70s society, where she is a lone woman trying to navigate a world full of men in business. And then there is Janet, who is in this utopia universe where men were wiped out by a virus. The 4th and final point of view is Jael. She is this woman who has been crafted into this warrior fighting machine, and they all meet in a way with this interdimensional, interuniversal travel, and things happen. And I was really looking forward to this being an awesome feminist story of all of these women getting together and learning from each other, and it was a man-hating book. I was getting so frustrated by reading paragraph upon paragraph of why men are awful, why women are subservient to them, and yada 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 yada. It was really frustrating, and honestly, I had no idea who was narrating the story at all. I was so confused by how they would jump around from characters and talk about different timelines, and it was just a weird jumble of stuff I couldn't really comprehend. And so it's a 1-star read for me. In order to bounce back from that read that was very much so not enjoyable, I picked up Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake. This book was raved about by basically anybody I knew who read it, especially Cassie from Miss Sassy Cassie, and so I was so thrilled to pick it up. It's a story where this girl, the main character, the main point of view, her twin brother is accused of raping her best friend. And so she is dealing with who to believe, who to trust, trying to deal with this family over best friend feud. It was so heart-wrenching, so heartbreaking, and the story is full of just kind of diverse characters. The main character herself is bisexual, and her friend and ex is also non-binary, and so it was very interesting, and I really loved learning about these characters and how they tied in Gemini mythology to these twins. It was very fascinating, very interesting, and I definitely highly recommend you read this story, and I really loved it, and I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 stars. I binge read this in 2 days, and I felt like my reading was gonna come up from a slump, and it did not disappoint. So there we have my February wrap up. February, I usually don't read a whole lot because it's my birthday month and I spend a whole lot of time with friends and family, but I hope March is going to speed up my reading slumpiness and reading process so I can get more books read. And with that note, I am going to talk about the book I am currently reading, which I've actually been reading for the last few weeks, and that is The Book of M by Peng Shepherd. This is such an amazing story. I was sucked in right with the first chapter. It's a post-apocalyptic story that takes place in 2 different point of views at 2 different time periods. We have Ori, who is a husband who's navigating this world where shadows start disappearing, and when they disappear, memories go with it, and they start losing their memory day by day by day until they lose something significant, something important to survival, like they forget how to breathe, or they forget that they need food to survive, or water to survive, or they walk into fire because they forget it burns you. And so people have been dying, and others are killing them for their shadowlessness. It's a very interesting, very well-developed story, and the science behind it I'm still discovering, and it's still very interesting. So Ori and his wife, Max, are 4 years from Case 0, which is the first person who became shadowless. The world is devastated and very scary to live in, but they are surviving, and now his wife, Max, has become shadowless, and so they're trying to navigate this serious situation, and he's trying to hold on to her for as long as he can before she starts forgetting things. The other point of view is Naz. She is at Case 0. She is in America, an immigrant from India who is trying to get into the Olympics for archery. And then Case 0 starts, and she's in Boston trying to figure out and navigate this whole world, this whole exciting and different thing, until it starts happening everywhere. And they realize how serious this shadowlessness is. And then Case 0 pops up in Boston where she's living, and everything goes dark and terrifying. And it is so interesting. I am about a 1/4 of the way through. Hopefully finish this soon because I am definitely enjoying it so far. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know in the comments down below what your favorite read in February was, or what book you are currently reading, and if you are enjoying it. I want to again thank you for watching this video. I appreciate all your support, and if you liked watching all of my videos or my content, please subscribe, like this video, and continue to support me and chat with me in the comments. I love you guys. Until next time, bye!